How did she manage to go on that journey?
It's absolutely extraordinary. I can't believe what she's been through. I don't think many women could have gone through what she went through. Very happy home, loads of friends, no necessary aims because she had lots of money, and then to be vilified, called the most hideous woman in the world. And that was at a time when she was with Prince Charles, but she had no protection because they didn't have an engagement or they weren't married. So people would be crowding round her if she went to the supermarket, throwing things at her. People would be outside her house. Absolutely hideous, but she sort of survived it. And the survival was very interesting because actually when they did get married, after the ceremony, they walked up the stairs in Windsor and they both burst into tears. And I have that from one of their most popular aides. And I just thought to myself, you know, so much tension. Would it happen? Camilla was very scared that no one would turn up at the wedding because they had a normal wedding, not a church wedding. And she refused to get out of bed in the morning of the wedding day. She just couldn't cope. She's a woman who can cope. And this was too much. But to see both of them really weep, it must have been extremely moving. And I wanted to do the book because I think that it's extremely unfair of the Crown to see her as some hideous...
This is the Netflix
woman.
TV series.
Netflix TV series. I saw that in episode 3, and I felt the series 3, and I thought it was so incredibly unfair. But she's brilliant at actually overcoming such things. And she had a big reception at Clarence House, which she does quite a lot. And she invited the actress along as well, who thought maybe she was going to be sent to the Tower afterwards. And she gave a speech and she said, I'm very pleased that she's here because if I sort of fall over and don't make it, she'll be able to take over from me. So everybody roared with laughter. And, of course, it sort of said, this is all nonsense.
Yeah.
What they're doing is nonsense.
I mean, I'm a big fan of Camilla's. I always have been, actually. I always thought that she looks like a very, you know, nice person, a decent person. How did she win over the Queen?
Well, she won over the Queen by not saying anything, not speaking out, not complaining. I'm not saying she did this to win over the Queen. This was what she was like. And she started doing lots of engagements. And when she felt she could really help people in a positive way, she doesn't cut ribbons, she doesn't just say, hello, here I am, and nip off after 5 minutes. She says, one of the CEOs of a domestic violence charity said to me, she asked, when she says, what can I do to help? She doesn't just go away, she then does it to help. So she's been terrific. And the more work she'd done, she didn't want a career, but once she started doing this, the more she loved it. And she's now works well, it might change now she's Queen, but incredibly hard to help people in difficult situations.
And talking about people in difficult situations, and if she is a helper and a healer, I'm looking now at the news about the reconciliation that's hopefully going to go on between Harry, Meghan, Wills and Kate, maybe coming back into the royal family, maybe cutting out bits of that Netflix sort of documentary, getting rid of some of the bits in the book so they can come back in the royal family. Will she help with that?
Well, it's very interesting because her belief is you never ditch your family. You always leave the door open so that if they want to come back, you know, they can. I think that's a very important feeling that she has. But I think they've got to have respect. Harry and Meghan have got to change the way they're doing things. They haven't got to think about me, me, me. And, of course, this nonsense about whatever the real royal family do, they try and copy it.
Which we saw with those photos, which were a strange set of photos.
Yes. Harry always behind Meghan. And also the one in black and white, which actually, if you just look at the top, is exactly the same as the Queen and King for a stamp. And you think, for goodness sake, I still think they want to crush and smash the royal family as we know it to pieces. But I think that she understands as a parent that you can love your child but really not like what they're doing.
But I was going to say that reconciliation, though, because they are quite savvy, a bit like the Queen didn't want a picture with Lilibet. They have said the reconciliation will come after we've seen what you've delivered to the papers and to the publishing world.
Well, that's why Harry and Meghan are going very anxious about what's in Harry's book and what the Netflix thing about them is going to be. Of course, the very fact that they've been nasty, to me, doesn't matter whether it's pre or after the Queen. It's just horrible that they've done this. It's so if the Queen's now dead, they take it out. But if she was still alive, she would have to read this nasty, spiteful stuff. That's what it's alleged to be, but we don't know.
I was just going to add in one more thing. They love legal battles,
yes,
don't they, Meghan and Harry? I just wonder whether they might have the tables reversed on them by Netflix, who will want all of that information in there, and it has been delivered.
Yes. Well, they can take no notice, can't they? They can't. They would have to take legal action against them, which I don't see how they can do that, because then they would just fall through. They have nothing left to offer.